Wife got bored with me and calls her ex to come and F her. So this is how I exposed her, by installing recorders. Hello everyone, I've been a lurker on this forum for about half a year, but can't keep reading anymore and need an opinion on my situation. I'll appreciate any feedback. I 35 am and my wife 31F stopped having any inside 6 months ago and I'm not sure what to do. Important information, we have 2 boys, one is 3 years old and the other one is 1.5. We're also in the middle of building a house. I'm not a person who likes to watch the world burn and I prefer to act as soon as possible to fix any issues, so I initiated a conversation with my wife. It was to find out what happened. I asked her, why did you stop talking to me, hugging me, kissing me, why did you start to mind the touch of my hand on your body, why did you stop having any form of inside with me? At first she didn't want to talk, there was a very hard cover to break, but she finally opened up. What I learned is that basically I'm not enough for her. She's doing everything herself, she can't count on me. She is wearing the pants in the house. She is the decision maker. She is handling the kids. She told me I would be better alone. I'm an introvert but not a hardcore one, etc. It was pretty shocking to hear, but I accepted what she said and I told her I understand her pain and I will work on my behavior so that she won't have to be stressed about it. I love her so much I prefer to agree and not start a fight. However, I do have my own mind. I do have my thoughts that don't let me sleep sometimes. There is a massive red flag which brought me to this group. Her charges are far from true. That is my opinion of course, but I truly believe I fit in the norms of a good husband. I'm working around 8 to 9 hours from home, but after that I take care of my boys. I play with them, feed them, take the older one to the swimming pool, put them to sleep, etc. I also wake up in the middle of the night if there is a need to do so. Aside from kids, I care about the household. I do the dishes, groceries, clean up a bit. She prefers to clean because I'm not that efficient in it. I take care of the car, things about the new house, etc. I do a lot to make her life easier. I do realize it's hard with 2 little boys. Thing is, I'm not a person who is proactive. There are people who can't sit for 5 minutes on a couch without thinking what to do next. What to fix, what business to start, what chores are left to do, what to fix. Her father is like that. I'm not. Once a day is over, kids are sleeping, work is all done, house is cleaned up, I prefer to watch a movie, play some video games, ease my mind. I'm also not a person who could start his own business. I'm best at my field and prefer to be told what to do and do my work, but do it well. There are a lot of people like that and I'm not ashamed of it. I don't pursue any spectacular career, I don't dream of having millions in my bank account, I'm just a regular, people tell me good-looking guy who wanted to have a healthy, happy family and earn a decent buck. I realized she started to have an issue with that despite being happily married for 4 years and happily together with me for 5 years before that. The talk happened in December. After that I started to work against my personality, which affected in doing some proactive work like extra groceries, extra house fixes, basically not sitting on my crap in the evenings, no rest. She liked that, but it didn't change her approach to me, so I had to initiate the second talk. Seeing how she treats me, I asked her in the beginning, do you want to save the marriage? She replied, I don't know. Hard to swallow, but in order to continue I asked her, do you want to go to a marriage counseling? She replied, I don't know. Then I told her it's not a moment to don't know if our kids may have parents living separately soon. After hearing that, she agreed. So I had to find a therapist. She didn't show any interest in that. During the talk she told me some painful things like I married you only to impress my parents and married sisters so that we can be a big happy family and we can have beautiful children. I married you because I was enchanted, not in love. I also learned she had a meeting with her fellow priest and discussed our marriage. Anyway, I found a good therapist and we're now before our 3rd meeting. We learned that we have different love languages. I need touch, she needs work done. However, since the beginning of our counseling she doesn't give me touch, no hugs. After the 2 sessions I asked her if she liked it, how did she feel, and all she had to say was that she's uncomfortable with the fact she needs to share our life details with an unknown woman. When the therapist heard we're not sleeping in the same rooms for 6 months, she was shocked. My wife explained that it's because she's sleeping with children on the bed and there is no place for me there. The therapist replied that it is a very bad example for the kids not to allow a husband in the bedroom, and if there is no place on the bed, go to a damn IKEA and buy a single bed, put it next to the big one. I did just that, bought it, put it together, and I'm sleeping there now. Funny thing is I still feel like I'm sleeping alone. She is far to the left, there are boys in the middle, and I'm far to the right. Since the beginning of the issue my wife changed her testimony a bit. She started saying that she's depressed because of sitting with the kids at home all the time. She told me she said all the things because she was too emotional, etc. I would never say anything like that under any circumstances to her, but I guess I had to believe her. She just recently went back to work and we hired a nanny. The only change in her behavior is that we started to talk. But I'm not only her friend, I'm also her husband, and there is no inside. It doesn't look like it's going to get better, no signs of it. She doesn't care about next MC sessions, I have to keep scheduling them about the S. She told me she doesn't need it at all and she's been doing it only because I wanted it. I felt like an abuser. She never was crazy about lovemaking. We had it once a week, which is fine for me, could have been more often but it's fine. This year we had S 2 times and both times it was pity, duty lovemaking. One was in the beginning of January because I had birthday, now I have to have birthday to get laid, and the other after counseling when initiated, but she was just lying on her back, covering her chest and waiting for me to finish. That made me not want it anymore. It's not what it's about. When I bring the topic up she just says, "That's what I am. If you don't like it just leave me." I don't know what to do. Please advise. Update 1. There was one situation when my wife tried to call her ex-boyfriend 4 times in a row at 10 p.m. She didn't talk with him but tried to reach him. I know that because we used to have an app with our 2 numbers saved and I could see incoming and outgoing phone calls for each number. After that I went nuts. Why is my wife calling her ex 4 times at 10 p.m.? I decided to check her a message on her laptop. Felt terrible, but for me it was justified. We're married, have kids, and she is acting weird. After calling him 4 times she wrote him a message. "I'm going to keep calling until you pick up and talk to me as a normal human being." When I asked her about it she lied she wasn't calling him, so I showed her the app and her outgoing calls. She had nothing else to do but to admit she did try to reach him. I asked her why and she explained she was calling back. Knowing that she also wrote to him after calling, I asked her if she wrote anything to him after. See, she said no. Then I showed her the message she wrote to him and she explained that he got drunk and called her, started talking some mumbo jumbo. When she heard that she told him to F off and hung up. Then she felt wrong about it and tried to call him 4 times because he wasn't picking up. Finally she wrote what she wrote. He didn't reply. I don't know what to think about it. It happened around the time she stopped being in tay with me. Her opinion on the situation is that for her it's not weird or bad that she kept it from me. It's not important for her. Thing is, any contact with an ex is a bad sign. It's unacceptable for me. Is she cheating? There is no inside between us since 6 months. This is when the calls happened. Update 2. Thank you all for your insight. At first I couldn't believe how many of you claimed that she is indeed cheating on me. It was like some science fiction to me, something I would see in a movie maybe. Something my wife would never do. However, today everything changed, it became a fact. I feel stupid to be just another person like that, but I guess this is how life is. Now, I know I promised calling her ex and talking to her family, but I decided to take a step back and play it cool. Can you believe how easy that was? All I did is I installed a voice-activated recorder in our car. Not even a GPS. It was there just 3 days. She used the car to work and then she went to a workout and finally she called him or he called her twice. Don't know exactly who called who, but I heard every word. It was a video conversation over the phone. I heard all the stuff I need. Things about us, things about each other's life. They talked like me and my wife 9 years ago when met each other. Same attraction, jokes, etc. Something I don't have with her for a while. Things about vacation planning. She wants to visit him this July. Wow. She gave him a time frame of 2 years to move back to our country. I can't believe it. Now I'm after listening to an hour-long recording of this crap. There are some things I need to process. I need to meet an attorney next week, etc. All I wanted to say is thank you. You opened my eyes. If it wasn't for you I would have never bought the freaking voice recording device. And to think I felt bad placing it in the car, my god. I will be updating. Right now I need to chill a bit. Keep thinking about my kids and what she has done. They started it in September last year. It took me 2 months to notice changes in her behavior. I will be taking care of my old father for an entire next week in another city. This means she won't be going to work for a week. Instead she will use my home office. This also means she will be talking to him in the office most likely. Would you place the recorder in the office for the next week or I have enough? Update 3. It started in September last year, so I'm out of the picture for a long time. Right now she doesn't want to spend a moment with me around the apartment we rent. She always has some stuff to do and goes to her parents/aunt/friends, etc. She even goes to sleep or just goes to lie in the bed when we put our kids to sleep, 1 and 3 years old. The recording tells it all. She mentions she loves him, that she wants to visit him and have s with him. They talk a lot about his crap. She told him she wants to go on vacation with him. Also told him she will be his wife and that she'll leave me soon. She was even talking about his favorite love-making position, so yes, they had s. It's all there. Point is, she doesn't know that I know. Her all family and friends don't know. They just think we have a temporary crisis. She is one of 3 sisters, Catholic, every Sunday in church. We live in a small town, 20k people. We recently built a house but it's not finished. I feel like she will file for divorce very soon. I can see she is suffering with me in the apartment and she can't handle it anymore. Her body language and total lack of any conversation shows it. She wants me out soon so that there will be some time when I'm gone, and then within 2 years, the AP will move to the small town to live with her in our house and my 2 little boys. In the recording she mentioned she gives him 2 years to come back to our country. People will understand that she needs a father for her kids and won't complain. The AP is her first boyfriend. They were together for 7 years before she married me. We are 9 years together. AP is living abroad but visits our country frequently. I refuse to be played like that. Now I have an attorney and will be meeting him soon about it. I can basically destroy her reputation by showing bits of the recording to anybody. Please help me with any advice. What do I do when she serves me papers? Attorney says my papers need a month of preparation. I would never guess I would be dealing with a monster like that. Update 4. I met with the attorney and learned some significant things. It turned out going the burn her world way would not be so smart. The reason for that is that we have kids and I have to co-parent with her for the next 15 to 16 years. Another reason is I have a lot of respect for her family and I don't want to get them involved in the divorce as witnesses. Also, I would not win kids because they are small and have to be with her mother in the small town 1 hour away from me in capital city. I would be an every other weekend dad anyway. Finally, I would not have a permission to sell our house because the kids need to have good living conditions and won't have another place to live. The place they live now is a property of her dad, it's temporary. As crappy as it sounds, it's the reality in Poland, Europe. After our conversation, the attorney sent her papers. They were set to be delivered right after Easter in Poland. It lasts 2 days here, it was Sunday and Monday. I faked it all at the table, alcohol helped a lot. Yesterday, Tuesday, I had a day off work and I was taking care of my 1-year-old son. She went to work to the capital city 1 hour away. In the meantime, my brother helped me take all my stuff from the apartment and put it in his car. The postman delivered the divorce papers, actually an invitation to mediation so we could divide everything like civilized people and divorce amicably. The paper states that she is in a relationship with this guy, and it's the reason the divorce will happen. The evidence I have will serve as a leverage when establishing child support, etc. When she entered the house, I told her that I know everything. I have irrefutable proof, I'm deeply wounded by it and she needs to contact my lawyer. Then I gave her the divorce papers and left to visit her parents. Of course she started asking what I know and how I know and denied everything. Her parents were in shock but believed me. I recorded it all just like my attorney ordered me to do. It started with my questions if they think I'm a good, caring husband and father. They approved and now she can't use them as witnesses against me in court. Like I said, they believed me, understood that it's a horrible thing she's done and she destroyed mine and our kids' lives. I thanked them for understanding and went to the capital city. In the meantime, I called one friend and he took care of distributing the news to her friends. 2 hours later, my brother-in-law called me and informed me that she admitted she's been cheating on me with the AP, but she didn't admit to actually having sex with him. He informed me that everybody is on my side and she destroyed our family. He told me her sister visited my soon-to-be ex-wife and told her how evil she is. But in the end he told me that everything can be saved, that he also cheated on his wife, she forgave him and now they are very happy. Then her father called and also admitted that it's completely her fault and she doesn't realize what she's done. He told me the AP will never enter his house and that he will stop financially helping the soon-to-be ex-wife. He even called the AP but he didn't pick up. In the end he said he believes it can be saved. Finally her other sister sent me a text telling me that she fully supports me, but again, she believes it can be saved. I don't like that at all because I don't believe it can be saved, I'm positive about it. I'm afraid they will cling to the fact that I don't have some sort of a love-making tape of them and my reasons are not enough to leave her. I have recordings of her saying, "Make sure you'll last more than 3 seconds when I'll come visit you in Holland. I wonder if your dad's crap is the same as yours. You know what? I'll come to that woman and we'll ask her how long is your brother's crap and I will tell her how long is yours. I love you. I'm going to leave my husband. Please record yourself and send me a video. Your favorite position is crappy style with back straight. I'm showing you how your life with me is going to look like. I'm giving you 2 years to move back here." All that in connection with the lack of emotions towards me for 7 months. Furthermore, right after confrontation she told me she never stopped loving him. This is proof enough to me. What do you think? Anyway, right now, like many of you mentioned before, she is crawling back. After her family confronted her about it, she is writing me texts like, "I didn't know what I was doing. I can't imagine living without you. I'm so sorry for everything I've done. I'm waiting with kids for your comeback." She also said that she didn't mean to tell me that she always loved him. I don't know, they make me feel like I jumped the G with the divorce because I don't have the actual love-making tape. They don't know that all they know that I have proof, and she is not admitting to actually having sex with him. It's believable because he is in Holland but he could have visited her here. Update 5. Many of you told me that now that the papers have been served, she is going to start crawling back in order to save her face in Vienna in front of the family and to get me back because she needs a lot of help with our 2 little boys. It happened, she started writing to me on Messenger but not too frequently. All of the messages were the same: "I can't imagine my life without you. I love you and only you." Some photos of our kids and message: "We're waiting for you and love you very very much." And that is it. It's been 5 weeks and she hasn't called me once and hasn't visited me once. She had many occasions literally driving by my parents' house, where I currently reside. Only messenger texts far in between. We also saw each other couple times exchanging kids and she didn't try to apologize or anything, just hi and bye. Her family started to communicate with me much more frequently. Her father called me twice. Her mother sent me a dozen texts with some links to Christian pages when they teach about forgiveness. Her one sister texted me and told me she's very sorry and it's all because my wife's has been possessed by some evil spirit. Her other sister expressed how my wife ruined our family and doesn't expect me to come back to her. My brother-in-law even came over and took me out for a beer. He wasn't trying to be persuasive at all, just light conversation about what happened and what will happen in the future if I won't come back. Sure, he would like me to come back but wasn't pushing. Basically all of these talks were like, we can't believe she did what she did. We would like you to come back to her, but we understand if you won't do it. However, the day arrived when I made up my mind and my lawyer told her lawyer that I decided that I'm not able to forgive her in Thai and I want a divorce. My lawyer presented my terms of the divorce and now we're waiting for her lawyer's response. While I'm waiting for their answer, her sister started blaming me and literally told me that I'm going to destroy this marriage. She stated very clearly that it was my wife who started all this by being very selfish, but right now she is very sorry, she's crying, and wishing she could turn back time. Now it is me who is selfish and who will destroy the marriage by divorcing her. It is on me now because I could cancel the divorce and just come back to my kids. I wouldn't need to come back to my wife, just come back to raise my 2 boys. She told me how I'm full of anger and how it will just evolve over time. She told me I should just suck it up and continue living with my wife. She portrayed this divorce as my revenge on her but explained that this is really a revenge on our kids too. I can't comprehend it. I knew from you that it's going to happen, that the situation is going to start shifting and her family will flip on me, but it's still shocking. For a moment today I felt guilty that it is all my fault, that my wife treated me like garbage for over half a year, that she decided to abandon me physically and emotionally, that she wanted to leave me. So yeah, they sway me hard. It's very, very hard, but I won't change my mind. The divorce will happen. Seems like they now have this kind of narrative in which I'm the bad guy who is abandoning kids. I was thinking to destroy this argument by presenting my terms of getting back together, which she won't agree on most likely. I don't love her, but I would do it for the kids because I love them immensely. No marriage, just partnership, separate finances. She leaves her hometown and moves with kids to the capital city where I live. GPS in the car till she stops driving in her old age, daily phone check. All that after I get my 7 months of dates with random girls. I would also not hesitate to cheat during the relationship and don't ever tell her. If she finds out, there is no marriage anyway, I don't care. What do you think? It's just an idea, nothing serious. I probably won't do it anyway, but don't have any other idea to shut the family's mouth about me abandoning the kids. In Poland, Europe, small children like ours have to be near mother in case of a divorce. I can't have them. Since she lives in a small town 1 hour away from me and kids have their kindergarten and nursery there, we can't share them 50-50. I will be an every other weekend dad with all access whenever I want additionally. Sad and painful, but it is what it is. Update 6. It's been 2 months since the day I confronted her, handed her divorce papers and moved to the capital city 1 hour away from the small town we used to live in together. I live with my parents, sleeping on the couch in their living room. The dining table morphed into a work/entertainment place and my clothes are hanging on every chair around. I work from home for 8 hours, after that I usually help my old parents, 88 and 71-year-old, with everyday chores around the house. I do groceries and drive them to doctor appointments. Apart from that I go to the gym or cinema to do everything in order to escape negative thoughts about what happened. I see my kids every weekend, she drops them off and I drive them back. The weekends are great, I find myself truly happy when I'm around them. I did a paternity test and the boys are mine, there is no confusion here at least. Situation with divorce terms is a bit muddy now, it's hard to say what's going to happen. Since I'm living with my parents, and as a father of 2 and a grown man I don't have any other place to live in, I want a significant amount of money from my wife, plus she is taking over the mortgage for the house. She agreed for the mortgage takeover but offered only 1/3 of the money I want, explaining this is how much I put in the building of the house. Thing is, I didn't cause this situation, I'm not guilty of it and need a place to live. 1/3 of the amount I want is not going to help buy me a flat. So the conversation between our attorneys continues. The reason she's offering me the small amount is because she wants to keep the house. However, last time we talked I learned she might be pushed to sell it. This is the thing she should be doing from the beginning, she's not going to be able to pay the mortgage and pay me. We'll see how it unfolds. Other financial things like child support money, she wants way too much, it also needs to be agreed on. She also claims I should be the one who picks up the kids from the small town and drive them back by the end of the weekend. It's a lot of fuel and time. It should be her dropping them off and me driving them back. So as you can see, she is the one responsible for all that, but at the same time she is ready to argue about divorce terms. Her sister invited me to her daughter's communion, it was last Sunday. I went so I could spend some more time with my boys. Every family member is well informed that my decision is final, so they didn't even try to talk to me about it. I just took care of my boys while everyone was drinking and eating at the table after the ceremony. However, at one point my wife asked me if my decision is truly final. I looked at her and told her as calmly as I could possibly do it. Yes, it is final and nothing is going to change it. I am here now for my boys to spend as much time with them as I can. But she followed with how she is truly remorseful and how much she regrets what she's done. She told me she ended the relationship with the AP, that she went to an exorcist, told him every detail of the affair and left it in God's hands. To that I replied that I don't care about her priest, and if there's anyone she should be admitting to everything, it's me. Really at that point it was just laughable, but I continued. Okay, if you're truly remorseful. I am now here giving you one chance to tell me all the truth. Tell me how many times you had sex with him? She replied she didn't. Then I asked her, remember when you had that party with your friends from work back in November? Why did you rent a flat for a night, Airbnb, instead of sleeping in one of your friends' apartments? After hearing that, she went numb, couldn't find any words besides why do you need to keep torturing yourself with it? I explained that if she was truly remorseful, she wouldn't continue to lie 2 months after I left her. That was just one example. I told her that to me over video chat is the same and I know she had it with him. Couldn't even count how many times she'd done it with the AP. After that I told her, how do you imagine getting back together? You start a topic with me and lie the next second. Do you know that I would be checking your phone every day? What do you think about that? She replied, that wouldn't be trust, it would just be treating me like garbage. Then our son interrupted and the conversation was leaning to the end. I finished it with, remember you didn't just cheat on me, you cheated on our 2 little wonderful boys too. It destroyed her. She started yelling that it is the last time I told her something like that in front of our kids. It's funny because her sister has told me how my wife is suffering and crying every day because of all this. It's a true two-faced woman, crying in front of the family and yet still lying to me. She even told me that if she wanted she would be with the AP and her family couldn't do anything about it. Like I should be thankful that she ended it with him and now she is in control of not being with him. Like come on. I guess I'm just venting at this point and keeping you up to date. Thanks for the support you all gave me. I will stay strong and finish this mess one day. I think it's not going to end well for my boys and they will need some psychologist help. The older one is nervous lately, but I will always be there for them. Update 7. Our attorneys finally came into an agreement and the divorce will happen shortly. She is taking the unfinished house and the mortgage is exclusively hers now. The house is for the kids. I don't want anybody to tell me in the future that I caused the selling of the house as part of my revenge for her and Ty. Plus I don't want to live in it, in her small hometown an hour away from the capital city where I am now. However, I am taking what I put in it and that amount is not bad at all. Child support amount is not bad either. Plus we agreed that she will be dropping the kids at my place in the capital city every other weekend. I'll just have to drive them back. Now I see my kids almost every weekend, but it is not enough for me. It causes me so much pain I can't handle it sometimes. I just can't allow for 1 and 3-year-old boys to live without a father because of a woman who can't behave. I just wish I could have them, but that's not possible because of the law in Poland. I will have to start driving there in the middle of the week or something to survive. As for her, she keeps messaging me that she loves me, wishes she could turn back time, that she is suffering because of her deeds every day. She softened to a point when she even told me that she no longer thinks checking her phone would be treating her like garbage. She allowed for it, told me I could do it all the time. She told me we could move out of the small town to the capital city. She agreed to tell me everything about the affair, every details of it if I'll take her back. She came to my parents and apologized. Something must have changed, somebody must have told her something. She's willing to do everything now, actually showing some remorse. Last time she messaged me this, thank you for not selling the house and ending it with me amicably. Agreeing to your terms also means accepting the divorce. I will have to agree in court, but let me just tell you that it will not be true. I don't want this divorce and love you very much. I know you don't believe it and I understand it, but I want you to know that I hope I will have a chance to prove my love to you one day. I love you and I'm sorry for everything. There are no words to express how I regret all this. Things like that sway me and don't help with the healing process. I would be a liar if I told you her words don't affect me. Vision of my boys growing up in the capital city instead of the small town is tempting. I really believe she has a hard time alone with 2 small boys, but she did what she did. She cheated and ruined it all. I thought it's going to be better with time, but the wound heals very slowly. I will stay the course, I will end this. I will update one day, maybe when I'll be finally happy. What do you think? Do you think my wife is truly remorseful? She only agreed to tell me the details of her infidelity when I'll come back, not right away. She didn't offer checking her phone right away. She didn't offer moving to the capital city from the small town right away. 3 months had to pass so she could show some remorse. When she apologizes, she is not even calling me or visiting me, she is doing it over Messenger. Her family turned out to be fully on her side now, her mother calling me narcissist and her sister claiming I want to make money of the divorce and leave a woman with 2 little boys. Yesterday I visited my kids for a brief time and she offered I could stay for the night. I left, of course. I would appreciate some insight. Update 8, D-Day was April 7th and here's my mindset after almost half a year. Such complex situations require answering the same questions every day. In my case the questions are, do I still love her? Could I go back to her just for the kids? Do I want to go back to her small town where she lives and finish building the house? Would I feel comfortable with myself in 5 to 10 years knowing what she'd done? The answer to all the questions is a definite no, without any hesitation at this point. That's it. Yes, I love my kids immensely and would want to see them every day, but I can't. I would want to love her, but I can't, despite the fact she wants me back. I would love to have that family back, but I can't. I would want to forget about everything, but I can't. At one point I even offered her a second chance, which was her moving to my city with kids to start a new life. She didn't even agree, telling me she has her family's help in the small town and won't sell the house because wants our kids to have something in the future. When I told her the family is not the stupid building but a mother, father and kids, she only kept her mouth shut. This is when I understood there is no us anymore. There is mutual agreement, there is no middle ground in all this. I explained that I will not continue my life in the small town because this is where the affair started. He noticed her on the street driving by and called her. I continued that I absolutely won't finish building a house which is located 1 mile away from her AP's family house. That I will not live another day in my life worrying that she might meet him someday. He lives abroad but visits family 2 to 3 times a year. And then the conversation ended. I hate the small town, she doesn't want to live in the capital. That's it. Here's a little example of her approach to things. We agreed that I'll just take the money I put into the house and she will keep the building for the kids. Now she even has a problem with that because there's one point in the agreement which states that she is not allowed to sell the house until the kids are 18, adult in Poland. Otherwise she will have to split the amount of money she would get from selling the house equally between her and me. She claims this is unfair because she plans to finish the house with her own money and in case of selling it, I would receive half of much more expensive finished house. When I asked her why would she even think of selling it, she answered that she can't predict what her life will be like. I can't trust her. At this point I'm leaning towards just selling the building. Only I can't live with the fact that I would be selling the house which was meant to be for my kids. Update 9, she wrote me this message today. I would like you to answer my question. I'm asking you here because if I were to do it in person, we would only shout at each other. You've told me who I am, what I've done, etc. And don't want to talk about it anymore. Having all that discussed, do you want to forgive me, leave the past behind and build the family from scratch? Or you already know you don't and won't ever be able to forgive me and you will never go back to us? Please think about it and let me know if you want our marriage back or not. What does it mean? I think she is no position to even demand me to be so specific now. I think there might be someone else and she wants to clear the situation with me. I responded I'm worth more than a messenger conversation and we'll talk soon. I talked with her. I presented my only 2 conditions for this marriage to last, which is moving to the capital city and cutting all ties with AP and his family. The second one is clear for her but the first one is an obstacle impossible to overcome. She is sorry for what she's done but not willing to move to Warsaw because we will never have a beautiful big house there and even small apartments are very expensive to rent. She arguments our kids have it easy in the small town. She only pays the bills for the flat she's currently in because it's her father's building. In Warsaw she would need to pay 4 to 5 times more for a smaller flat, bills plus rent. Plus she has all the friends and family to go to with kids after work. That's all true. I see the kids are happy and it's convenient for her. She said if we were to move, it would be only me who will end up happy about it. It would be food for my ego. It's just a tough situation because she is right about this. Even kindergarten in the small town belongs to her sister and we pay almost nothing for it. She just put me in an impossible to solve situation. I stand my ground, I will not live in the small town, but I also see it really doesn't make sense for them to move. We agreed that in this case I'll just keep visiting, spend as much time with kids as I can. I will keep taking them to Warsaw every other weekend. She told me she will not have anybody else, will just wait for me and that I will see it for myself in the future, that she will remain single. I find it hard to believe and I don't really care. Maybe it's good because the kids will have only me as a father figure and not some random guy, I don't know. During our conversation she said some things which showed clearly that she is not a remorseful person. When I asked her why she hasn't even called me once during our separation, only sent me texts, she said she didn't have time with 2 kids running around the house. She told me she will never again speak of the affair and will never give me any more details about it if I'll ask. She is done with it. She will not share anything more with me because I told her family about some facts she didn't want me to tell them. She told me that the AP's been writing to her for many years and she kept rejecting him, but when he wrote last year it was because of my passive behavior that she decided to start the affair with him. I just replied that what she just said is beyond disgusting and she just rolled her eyes and replied, you're thinking only about yourself, you're the only poor guy in this. Update 10, I somehow learned to live by myself with limited time with my kids and now I feel like dating again. Actually I started using dating apps some time ago. I get a satisfactory amount of matches and setting up a date with a nice girl is not an issue in general. I already had 2 to 3 short-term relationships which unfortunately had to end because whenever they wanted to meet me I was busy with the kids. Every other weekend is totally off. But I wish they lasted longer. I always lied that I have some meeting or whatever, and they considered it a lack of interest from my side. The problem is, how do I navigate this? For now, whenever I meet a new girl I do not say that I'm almost divorced with 2 kids. I found this is the only way for the second or third date to happen. Is there any solution to this? Is there any chance a girl would stay with me if I told the truth from the beginning? Anyone had a similar situation? I do not necessarily feel like having a serious relationship for now, but eventually I would want to be in one.